Hello, and welcome to the Afterspark podcast, an episode-by-episode recap of the Generation 1 Transformers cartoon. I'm Els.
And I'm Specs.
And today we're going to be talking about episode number 87, the big broadcast of 2006. Let's talk about giant robots today, shall we?
Oh yeah, let's do it.
And we open in the futuristic time of nearly 20 years ago, or 2006.
Oh, a blast from the past.
Past, future, past. We'll never know.
Yeah. Where Wreck-Gar is watching TV with his wife, Nancy!
Who coincidentally got her name from the Japanese dub. She doesn't actually have a name in the English version.
But elsewhere, the Quintessons are watching the Junkions watch TV. I guess it's an exciting time in the TV fandom, or we're getting, TV Inception here.
You get into it.
They release some Sharkticons onto Junkion, who dig around in the trash for a bit and pull out a familiar-looking cylinder. Very ominous.
That's right. This episode aired out of order. The big broadcast of 2006 actually comes before the Quintesson Journal, and even directly sets it up.
But unfortunately for the Quintessons, the Junkions spot the Sharkticons and attack, causing them to lose the journal again. Get off our garbage dump!
In the depths of nearby space, Skylynx runs into Astrotrain, but they are both repelled by the nearby Junkions shooting at them, which is odd.
It's very out of character.
Yeah. Who, as we know, the Junkions and the Cybertronians are allies. It would be unlikely for them to shoot at Skylynx. Astrotrain, maybe.
The Autobots at least are their buddies.
Yeah.
On Cybertron, Ultra Magnus is very happy about a new generator, but Rodimus is much less so. He's such a dour fellow.
He's still hating this job.
Yup. They are quickly joined by Skylynx, who informs them about being fired upon by Junkions.
Ultra Magnus suggests that perhaps they mistook Skylynx as for a Decepticon, but Rodimus finds this unlikely and sends the aerial bots to investigate.
Astrotrain arrives on Char and lets Galvatron know about the Junkions firing on their, presumed allies.
But Galvatron doesn't give a fuck and smacks Astrotrain around a bit, just Galvatron things, hashtag.
Yeah. So Galvatron's got a throne in front of a bubbling pool of mud.
This is just his hot tub. We're setting precedents for Beast Force Megatron's hot tub. He had to pull inspiration from somewhere.
I mean, you'd think he'd be tired of hot, bubbling liquids, considering he went head first into one at least once. And screwed up his brain.
The Quintessons have apparently weaponized TV to control and brainwash the Junkions is what's going on here.
It makes them, extremely xenophobic to all life forms that aren't Earthlings, and prioritizing cleanliness and order, which is just so wrong for the Junkions.
They uncover the journal shortly before the aerial bots arrive.
The Junkions fire on the aerial bots while the Quintessons use their ship's camouflage to hide, and also fire on the aerial bots.
The aerial bots form Superion, who manages to get through the Quintesson fog camouflage thing, and damage the Quintesson ship enough to make them need to retreat.
Cyclonus sees the retreating Quintessons and rightly surmises that something peculiar is going on here.
Cyclonus and the Sweeps descend towards Junkion, managing to destroy several of the Junkion guns before they also retreat.
Skylynx retrieves Superion and brings him back to Cybertron for repairs. And First Aid, meanwhile, has clipped through the floor or has been in a horrible, horrible accident and lost a leg.
To clarify, this is an animation error.
Yeah.
I was looking at this and I was I don't know if that's clear enough from the way we say this, but this is an animation error.
Yeah. Superion manages to let Rodimus and Ultra Magnus know about the Quintesson ship despite his injuries.
And on Junkion, we get to see some of that good old Quintesson programming.
A man on TV is offering a granny/attack dog robot as a prize on a game show called Name That Prize. We've got an attack granny. The price is right. The Transformers universe is absolutely wild.
Oh god, it's Turbo Granny.
Oh god. Now I'm just imagining it somehow being involved in a smart house and just the insanity of that.
To clarify, Turbo Granny is from the Shin Megami Tensei series, and I'm hilarious if you know what that is. But to make this even sillier, it really looks like she turns into some kind of big cat, not an attack dog.
Yeah. God, who knows? I think the Quintessence were using AI for these scripts, and possibly for generating them.
They're evil capitalists. Of course they are.
Yeah. The Quintessence realize their subliminal message inductor has gotten messed up due to Superion's attack, and so they've been sending the wrong signal to the Junkions for who knows how long.
And the Junkions have apparently gotten the message "to share is to care" from this.
I mean, on one hand, that's a nice thing. On the other hand, this is not a good message.
Not in this particular instance. No.
Yeah, to which the Junkions have built a giant transmitter and are now broadcasting what the Quintessence were broadcasting to them to the furthest reaches of the galaxy.
On an alien cat people planet, the inhabitants also fall under the Quintessence xenophobic sway and attack a 1940s dog people city.
Yeah, who knows what's happening? We see similar bouts of violence erupt on planets inhabited by bee aliens, and then on another planet where the Earth Embassy is attacked by the native residents.
Which doesn't explain why, like, the Junkions still seem to be okay with humans, because they were watching, stuff with human programming, and this one is like, attack all humans! I have no idea. I don't feel like anybody thought any of this through, quite frankly.
Yeah. The Quintessence point out that they could use the situation to their advantage, but that the journal is still their primary objective.
Cyclonus tries to tell Galvatron about the Junkions again, but Galvatron smacks Cyclonus around and says he's not interested.
Cyclonus, realizing that this is an opportunity they can't afford not to act on, heads to Junkion with Scourge.
Rodimus, Ultramagnus, Blaster, and Cup are on their way to Junkion on Omega Supreme, but are attacked by Cyclonus, Scourge, and the Sweeps.
Oh my god, it's Omega Supreme. We haven't seen this guy since Season 2.
Sadly, this is his last and only appearance in Season 3, but hey, he isn't currently dead.
Which, compared to everything else, is quite a feat, all things considered.
Yup. Congratulations, Omega. You're one of the few survivors of Season 1. Up there with Percy and Bumblebee.
Yeah.
They land on either an asteroid or a barren planet, and as expected, fisticuffs ensue between the Decepticons and the Autobots.
Omega Supreme has been damaged, but Ultra Magnus is able to fix him, and he basically shoos the Decepticons off.
He's just too big for them to fuck with, basically.
He's too big for anyone to fuck with.
True. War has broken out throughout the galaxy due to the Junkion signal. The Quintessence head to Junkion to get the journal before anyone else can, as several ships are converging on the planet.
Cyclonus and company are doing their flight of shame, only to run into Galvatron.
When asked why the heck Galvatron is out here, Galvatron just begins repeating phrases from the TV signal and leaves.
Well, that's ominous.
Basically, he's under the control of the signal as well.
Considering he's an omnicidal would-be dictator, that is not great.
No.
Cyclonus and company realize he's heading towards Junkion and follow him.
The Autobots arrive at Junkion in the middle of a firefight between a bunch of different alien ships who were presumably drawn here in the same way that Galvatron was.
Did the Decepticons even have a TV?
I'm gonna go with his head is so messed up he was getting the signal beamed directly to his brain. He's the only Decepticon we see here.
I mean, maybe he picked up TV from the time that he took over the psychiatric planet's brain.
I have no idea, but I'm just saying, like, we see no other Decepticon being mind-controlled in this way.
Yeah.
So, it's clear it's only attached to Galvatron, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. Galvatron is also on the planet and confronts Rodimus directly by chucking him into a garbage heap.
Rodimus redirects the shot from Galvatron, hitting the Quintessence ship that was trying to retrieve the journal, and in the process, sending said journal careening off into space, where it will never be heard from again. I'm kidding. They'll find it in... Well, they'll find it in the previous episode, because time is, an illusion, and...
Time is malleable. What happened in the past is happening tomorrow, apparently. Or something. God, who knows? Blaster has a very good idea to counteract the Junkion signal, and does so, waking up Galvatron and the Junkions.
I believe he does this by basically broadcasting a competing signal or something to kind of counteract the Quintessence signal. Anyway,
something like that.
Yeah, it's like this is something that makes sense for Blaster to do, and it was a smart move. Good for him.
So Galvatron retreats when it's apparent that he's super outnumbered by the Autobots and Junkions.
The Autobots wonder who caused this whole mess, but they don't have any real answers and are just relieved that the broadcast has stopped at this point.
Yep, and then the episode ends with the Quintessence vowing to find their journal.
Which they do. They did. Whatever.
Yeah.
But join us next time for episode 88, Only Human. Did you ever wonder what the Autobots would look like if they were human? Prepare for some disappointing fashion choices from all involved.
Oh boy, yeah.
Very disappointing.
They are not, they're not great fashion choices.
No.
Alright, so today we have 2 fanfic recommendations, one from myself and one from Els. Mine is Ablutophobia by Chixel_84. It's the G1 continuity. It's not rated, but it probably is amounts to G rated. It's Jen, there's no pairings. Our characters here are Wreck-Gar, Trax, Optimus Prime, and the Dinobots. And in summary, Ablutophobia, the overwhelming fear of bathing, cleaning, or washing. AKA, Trax tries to explain to Wreck-Gar that he needs a bath. But the Junkion is quite certain he doesn't want it. Which, it's appropriate for this episode because the Junkions are they've been brainwashed into cleaning and being tidy.
It's very unusual for them.
Uh-huh. And then I picked it because it's Wreck-Gar is here and having an important, he's an important character, but having a very bad time.
Yeah.
And it's a one-shot, but it's in a series, but I think it's because it's there for organizational grouping for the author. So let's go to Els.
The one I'm recommending is Comfortable by Disdain Freely. The continuity is IDW. It's rated G. It is Slash, though, because it's Minimus Ambus and Megatron. Our characters are Megatron, Minimus Ambus, Ultra Magnus, and Ravage. And in summary, Ultra Magnus and Megatron have been growing closer, but Minimus Ambus still has a secret or two left. It is one of my wildcard fics, so it doesn't really have anything to do with today's episode. And then our fan artist for today is Beth McGuire Smith, who is actually an official comic book artist for IDW2, or was. I don't know if they're like... Is IDW2 even still happening? I don't think it got shifted. It got shifted.
I think Image Comics has the rights now for Transformers.
Gotcha. Well, when IDW2 was a thing, they were one of the comic artists for it.
Because I got the collected, a collected thing of like the first issue, the first volume.
Well, some of the pieces that I'm recommending is the Lost Light Diner. It is also just the colors are spectacular. It's like kind of a violent neon.
Yeah,
I mean that affectionately, and that I think it's very pretty. I'm not meaning like I'm afraid that comes across as I'm saying it's bad. No, it's beautiful.
It's lovely in 80s neon.
Yeah, and it literally looks like you've got the Lost Light crew in like a 1950s style diner, and just it's got so much of the cast. It's really fun to look at. The longer you look, the more shit you find. It's great.
Yeah, their use of perspective and color and lighting is just very nice. Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah. And then there was another, like, just this, it's a Cyclonus piece, and it's kind of hard to describe it. It's very, very pretty. It's, like, pretty and celestial, and has glowing, like, gold flowers and shit. Like, Cyclonus looks fabulous, okay?
It reminds me a little bit of Alphonse Mucha, except it's very much not. I think it's the flowery stuff around the bottom that makes me think of
it's
that,
like too angular to do. Yeah. But it's still pretty. I guess this was for the Transformers calendar 2019.
Nice.
And then there are 2 pieces from the Transformers Crystal Zine. I don't remember when that came out. This is dated as 2018.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
We've got like a Crystal Cyclonus, again, IDW Cyclonus, which I, no offense to G1 lovers everywhere, but I love his design in IDW a lot more. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man, the cool horns, like, just, he looks a lot more threatening.
Mm-hmm. And then
we've got one of
Windblade,
also crystalline and very pretty and glowy, and yeah, you should check out some of their non-comic work because it's very pretty and they did some really cool things. Genuinely, I love the diner picture. It was like my PC background for quite a while, and it's just it's great.
Yeah, because it's Swerve's bar as a diner.
Yes,
basically, it's very pretty, and it's got it's got I forget what he got called, but the big Sentinel guy that ended up joining the crew after the entire thing. He's in the back.
He's the fry cook, you guys. What's he frying? I don't know. Maybe we can fry Energon.
He's got a little spatula.
I know. Anyway, 10 out of 10. I don't know. So silly me. I forgot to double check their social medias before we recorded the episode, so I'll make sure I post an updated version. But like, I know their Twitter, all this stuff is posted to their Twitter, and I'm pretty sure they have their own website. Everything else might vary slightly once I actually get in there, but we will post links.
All right, and that just about wraps it up for us today. Remember to check us out on Tumblr or Pillow Fort as Afterspark-podcast for any additional information, show notes, or links we may have mentioned. You can also find us on X at Afterspark Pod, all one word, and various other locations by searching for Afterspark Podcast, such as AO3, iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube, just to name a few. And feel free to send us questions on Tumblr, YouTube, or AO3. Till next time, I'm Specs.
And I'm Alice.
Toodles!
I will cut you, legally speaking, of course.